The war had raged for 20 years. Humanity, once an afterthought in the vast galactic theater, had become a problem the Zorvan Dominion could not ignore. Every species before them had fallen, their civilizations absorbed into the Dominion's endless expanse. The same was supposed to happen to Earth. It should have been simple. The Dominion had fought larger empires, crushed stronger fleets, and broken more advanced worlds. And yet, here they were, standing at the edge of final victory, issuing the last demand to a species that refused to die. Aboard the Zorvan dreadnought Vac, High Commander Vorsk of the Dominion watched the blue-green world below. Earth had been battered, its cities left in ruins, its orbital defenses shattered. There was no fleet left to defend it. The last of the human strongholds had fallen in the outer colonies. This was the end. A transmission flickered to life in front of him. A holographic projection materialized, revealing a human figure standing in a dimly lit room. The man wore a simple military uniform, his face marred by fatigue, but not fear. "This is General Elias Carter of the Terran Defense Command," the figure stated, his voice steady. "You have no more forces," Vorsk replied, his voice laced with certainty. "Your fleets are gone, your armies are broken, your planet is at the mercy of the Dominion. This war is over. Surrender." Carter exhaled, closing his eyes for a moment before speaking again. "You don't understand humanity, do you?" Vorsk narrowed his reptilian eyes. "Explain," Carter leaned forward. "We've seen the reports, the species you've conquered before us. You break their will, dismantle their armies, and force them into submission. But you've miscalculated something critical." Vorsk's mandibles clicked in irritation. "And what is that?" The general's voice was quiet but sharp. "We don't surrender." Vorsk felt a flicker of unease. Every species before had surrendered when pushed to the brink. But Carter spoke with a certainty that unsettled him. "Then you will die," Vorsk declared. Carter's expression didn't change. "We know." The transmission cut. A tense silence settled over the bridge. For a moment, there was only the hum of the ship's systems and the distant thunder of warships maneuvering in Earth's orbit. Then, something changed. The Dominion fleet's sensor grids lit up with energy readings from the planet's surface. A surge of electromagnetic interference flooded their communication networks. Alarms blared. Earth was activating something. Vorsk's second-in-command, a towering Zorvan named Relak, turned sharply. "High Commander, we're detecting an unknown energy surge from multiple points on the planet. It's impossible. Their infrastructure is ruined. They shouldn't have this capability." The data pouring onto Vorsk's display confirmed it. Something was happening, something the Dominion had not anticipated, and then Earth fired back. Humanity had made their choice. The war was not over. Deep beneath the shattered surface of Earth, hidden in the labyrinth of abandoned subway tunnels and forgotten command centers, a spark was igniting. Here, in a secret facility known as Aurora Outpost, humanity's last line of defense was awakening. The facility, long concealed beneath layers of urban rubble, had once been a cutting-edge research lab. Now it buzzed with the renewed energy of desperate hope. Inside dim corridors lit only by emergency fluorescence, engineers and scientists worked feverishly to decode the mysterious energy readings emanating from the planet's surface. The electromagnetic surge from earlier was no random anomaly. It was a deliberate signal, a failsafe conceived in humanity's darkest days. At the center of the outpost, a vast, holographic map of Earth pulsed with irregular nodes of light. Each node marked a covert activation site, a reservoir of latent power scattered across continents. Dr. Helena Moritz, a brilliant quantum physicist whose eyes shone with relentless determination, studied the swirling data with a mix of awe and urgency. "We always believed there was a contingency," she explained to a cluster of technicians gathered around her workstation, a system built to harness Earth's own energy in moments of absolute crisis. The promise in her words electrified the room. Hope flickered in every face. This was not merely a defense mechanism. It was a hidden arsenal, a network of energy amplifiers designed to disrupt the enemy's overwhelming might. Humanity had always been underestimated, and now, in the crucible of near defeat, its ingenuity was poised to overturn the war's course. Meanwhile, high above the planet's scarred surface, General Martin Reyes scrutinized intercepted Dominion communications from a mobile command unit. His steely gaze shifted between streams of encrypted data and live satellite images, piecing together the enemy's strategy. The Dominion's fleet, confident in its imminent victory, was suddenly thrown off balance by inexplicable energy surges. Reyes murmured into his comm, "Prepare the counterstrike. We have a window, and we must seize it." His words, though sparse, resonated with the weight of impending action. Every second was critical, every heartbeat a step toward reclaiming their destiny. Across the ruins of a once thriving metropolis, scattered cells of resistance stirred into action. In makeshift safe houses and repurposed bunkers, former soldiers, engineers, and ordinary citizens gathered. Amid crumbling concrete and twisted metal, rumors of a hidden power network spread like wildfire. Whispers told of energy pulses that could disable enemy shields and scramble advanced weaponry, a force the Dominion had never encountered. In these secret meetings, tactical plans were drawn on cracked tabletops and hastily scribbled on scraps of paper. At one such clandestine rendezvous, Captain Sarah Delgado, a battle-hardened officer with a reputation for tactical brilliance, addressed a tight-knit group of fighters. "Our enemy believes Earth is a defeated planet," she declared, her voice resolute despite the gravity of the situation. "But in our darkest hour, we found a way to turn nature itself into our ally. We strike not just with weapons, but with the indomitable will of our people." The group listened in rapt silence. The air was heavy with anticipation and the promise of redemption. Back at Aurora Outpost, technicians synchronized energy pulses with Earth's natural electromagnetic rhythms. The carefully calibrated bursts rippled outward, forming a clandestine network that wove through the planet's battered infrastructure. Dominion sensors, finely tuned to detect conventional attacks, were confounded by this chaotic surge of raw power. High above, aboard the massive Zorvan warships, the unexpected assault caused shields to waver and energy grids to flicker. In the vacuum of space, the once unstoppable fleet was confronted with a disruptive force born of desperation and brilliance. Dr. Moritz and General Reyes exchanged terse comms as the system ramped up. "The network is unstable yet operational," Reyes reported, his tone measured. "Once fully engaged, it will compromise enemy operations in ways they can't counter." "Then we fight on equal ground," Moritz replied, determination clear in her voice. "Now is our moment to redefine the rules of this war." In that charged, fleeting instant, when every pulse of energy carried the promise of a counteroffensive, Earth's fate balanced precariously. The spark of resistance had grown into a burgeoning flame, a beacon that challenged the Dominion's calculated conquest. Humanity was no longer a species on its knees. It was rising from the ashes, ready to harness the very power of its ruined world to defy an empire and reclaim its future. Deep in the shadowed corridors of Earth's ravaged network of tunnels and bunkers, an elite team prepared for the most daring operation yet. Under the dim glow of emergency lighting, the covert unit, codenamed Nightfall, assembled in a repurposed control room once used for satellite tracking. Their mission? To infiltrate a Dominion outpost embedded within the ruins of a defunct communication hub and secure the data core that coordinated the energy pulses disrupting the enemy's fleet. General Martin Reyes's voice crackled over their secure comm link. "Team Nightfall, this is your window of opportunity. The Dominion's sensors are scrambled by our network. Move swiftly, disable their command relay, and extract the coordinates of their next assault. Our entire counteroffensive hinges on this intel." His words were terse, but carried a weight of unyielding conviction. The squad members exchanged glances that mingled determination and steely resolve. Humanity was fighting not just to survive, but to rewrite its destiny. In the cluttered corridors of the underground facility, every step echoed with the memories of a past long lost. The walls, scarred by both time and war, were now repurposed into conduits for resistance, a silent testament to humanity's resourcefulness. Lieutenant Mara Chen, a former engineer turned covert specialist, led the team. She was renowned for her ability to hack through systems that others deemed impenetrable. In her gloved hands, a compact multi-tool pulsed with encrypted codes, ready to disrupt the Dominion's digital fortress. The facility's entrance was a rusted blast door concealed behind layers of debris. With measured precision, Mara and her team breached the barrier using a combination of improvised explosives and digital overrides. Each controlled detonation reverberated through the silent complex, a declaration of defiance that resonated with the core of human spirit. As the heavy door creaked open, the team found themselves in a vast chamber lined with dormant machinery and flickering monitors. The hum of residual energy was palpable, a ghostly reminder of the outpost's former life under Dominion control. Navigating the labyrinthine interior, the team encountered sporadic patrols of Dominion drones. These sleek, angular constructs moved with unsettling precision, their sensors scanning for any sign of human intrusion. With minimal dialogue, the Nightfall operatives communicated through succinct nods and silent gestures, their actions synchronized as if born from a shared resolve. Mara's eyes scanned the arrays of code streaming on a terminal, her fingers dancing over the interface as she sought to bypass the outpost's encryption. In a tense moment, the screen flashed red, warning of an imminent security override. Heartbeats quickened. Yet, with deft recalibration and quick thinking, Mara rerouted the alarm, buying precious seconds. Meanwhile, in a secured control bay deep within the facility, Sergeant Liam Ortiz and his partner neutralized a small contingent of drones with silenced precision. Their coordinated maneuvers, practiced over countless drills, evoked an almost balletic choreography amid the chaos of warfare. Ortiz's whispered command, "Hold position, then move," barely disturbed the air, yet every word carried the gravity of survival. The silent clatter of suppressed weapons underscored their lethal efficiency, each step forward marking a small victory against the omnipresent threat. At the heart of the outpost lay the data core, a crystalline matrix pulsing with streams of raw energy. The core was encased in layers of Dominion encryption, its code a labyrinthine puzzle designed to thwart human interference. Mara connected her portable interface to the core's access panel. The ensuing sequence was a battle of wits, a high-stakes duel between human ingenuity and alien technology. Every keystroke echoed the defiance of a species that refused to be subjugated. The digital defenses fought back with bursts of cryptic firewalls and countermeasures, but Mara's persistence shone through. With one final surge of determination, she cracked the system, exposing the coordinates of a hidden Dominion command vessel poised to strike a decisive blow. Alarms blared as the encrypted data flooded through Mara's system. The breach had not gone unnoticed, and the facility's internal security protocols scrambled into action. With little time to spare, General Reyes's earlier command took on new urgency. "Extraction in T-2 minutes. Fall back!" His voice, resonant with controlled urgency, spurred the team into rapid regrouping. Amid the cacophony of alarm and the mechanical whir of reactivated defenses, Nightfall fought its way back through the corridors they had so meticulously navigated. Every shadow and fallen beam became both a refuge and a hazard. As they emerged into the relative darkness of the outer tunnel, the data chip secured in Mara's hand pulsed with the coordinates that promised to shift the battle's tide. Humanity's gamble was profound, a decisive strike against an enemy that had long underestimated the resilience and ingenuity of a species that refused to surrender. In that tense, adrenaline-charged moment, the chapter of clandestine warfare closed and the next phase of the resistance was set in motion. The gambit had been played and the stakes were higher than ever. As the data chip's encrypted coordinates pulsed in Mara's hand, humanity's leadership gathered in a hidden war room deep within a repurposed missile silo. The room was an eclectic mix of salvaged alien technology and retrofitted human systems, its walls etched with maps and tactical grids. General Martin Reyes, his face set in a grim mask of resolve, studied the holographic projection of the Dominion command vessel's location. The coordinates pointed to a massive, heavily fortified structure orbiting near the planet's battered atmosphere, a nerve center for the enemy's operations. Every eye in the room reflected the weight of impending destiny. The command vessel, designated Oblivion's beacon in intercepted Dominion communiques, was more than just a mobile fortress. It was the linchpin of the Dominion's war machine. Its destruction would cripple the enemy's ability to coordinate attacks and send a resounding message that humanity was far from beaten. In hushed, determined tones, military strategists, engineers, and resistance leaders converged around a tactical table. They reviewed satellite imagery, analyzed enemy communication logs, and debated the feasibility of a direct strike. The plan was audacious: to assemble a ragtag fleet of retrofitted shuttles, commandeered freighters, and repurposed civilian spacecraft. Each craft was to be outfitted with the repurposed energy amplifiers salvaged from Aurora Outpost, a technology engineered to disrupt Dominion shields and warp fields. "We have one shot at this," Reyes stated, his voice low and resolute. "Our intelligence confirms the vessel's patrol routines and the cyclical fluctuations in its defensive systems. We must time our strike to exploit that window." His words hung in the charged air, every syllable a promise and a dare to fate. Beneath the war room's surface, across the shattered remnants of Earth's industrial hubs, teams of engineers worked feverishly. Under improvised workshops lit by salvaged power cells, they synchronized the ancient technology with new adaptations. Sparks flew and metal groaned as human ingenuity bridged decades of technological gaps. Each modification was a testament to Earth's relentless spirit, a blend of old-world grit and futuristic innovation. Amid the clatter of machinery, the Resistance's mantra echoed: "We fight as one, or not at all." Outside the secured facility, on a desolate launch pad at a forgotten airfield, Captain Sarah Delgado and her unit prepared their fleet. The battered shuttles and freighters were not designed for grand battles, but they were fueled by something far more potent than advanced weaponry: a desperate hope and a refusal to surrender. Delgado's team ran final diagnostics, checking energy converters and ensuring that every amplifier was primed to send pulses that could destabilize Dominion defenses. In quiet briefings, her officers exchanged nods and curt remarks, their expressions hardened by countless battles, yet softened by an underlying determination to reclaim their future. In orbit above Earth, a solitary surveillance satellite, a relic of a bygone era, detected subtle changes in the Dominion's fleet behavior. Anomalies in the command vessel's energy readings and slight delays in its communication protocols hinted at an imminent vulnerability. The Dominion, in its arrogance, had underestimated the cunning of a species that had built its defiance into every fiber of its being. While the enemy believed they controlled the skies, they were now faced with an unseen, coordinated human force ready to exploit every weakness. As the final hour approached, the launch pad buzzed with a mix of calculated precision and raw emotion. Soldiers took their positions with silent determination. Engineers and pilots shared fleeting glances of solidarity. Amid the palpable tension, Delgado's whispered command, "Steady now! This is our moment," resonated as both an instruction and an invocation of fate. The countdown began, and the once quiet launch pad erupted into a symphony of roaring engines and controlled chaos. At that decisive moment, as the makeshift fleet surged into the cold vacuum of space, Earth's hidden energy network came alive. The coordinated pulses emitted from secret ground installations converged in orbit, weaving a chaotic tapestry of electromagnetic interference around Oblivion's beacon. The enemy's formidable shields flickered and strained under the onslaught. In that charged interstice between despair and hope, humanity's counteroffensive had ignited, a brilliant, defiant flash in the darkness of cosmic tyranny. The battle lines had been drawn anew. The Dominion's command vessel, once a symbol of their unstoppable might, now stood as the epicenter of humanity's audacious gamble. And as the human fleet closed in, every pulse of energy and every heartbeat echoed the timeless truth: humanity refused to surrender. As the human fleet closed in on Oblivion's beacon, the cold vacuum of space became a crucible where human resolve clashed with alien might. The flagship, a battered yet stalwart freighter retrofitted with potent energy amplifiers, led the charge, its engines pulsing with hope forged from desperation. Every vessel in the motley armada, patched together with jury-rigged armor and defiant emblems, bore the scars of previous battles and the unmistakable mark of a species that would not submit. Oblivion's beacon, once an unyielding symbol of Dominion dominance, now hovered vulnerable in a halo of chaotic energy. The pulses emitted from Earth's hidden network danced around the vessel, distorting its once impenetrable shields into erratic, shimmering layers. In that moment, humanity's carefully orchestrated counteroffensive had achieved what many deemed impossible. It had cracked the Dominion's facade of invincibility. Captain Sarah Delgado's ship led the first wave into the breach. Delgado, her eyes fixed on the holographic display before her, maneuvered with a precision born of countless training hours and relentless determination. In her cockpit, Lieutenant Aaron Kim monitored the rapidly falling shield levels on Oblivion's beacon. Shields dropping by 15%, he noted in a hushed tone that conveyed both anticipation and resolve. Delgado responded with a barely audible affirmation, a nod that resonated like a rallying cry throughout the fleet. The human fleet unleashed a barrage of energy pulses, each shot a calculated disruption designed to further destabilize the enemy's defenses. Plasma cannons discharged synchronized volleys, while repurposed energy amplifiers sent precise surges that battered the Dominion vessel's circuitry. The command vessel convulsed under the relentless assault. Alien panels flared, and intricate arrays of control systems sparked erratically as they struggled to adapt to the unorthodox attack. In a bold tactical maneuver, the fleet split into two distinct flanks. One wing focused on disabling the main power couplings that anchored Oblivion's beacon's defensive matrix, while the other prepared for a daring boarding action. Sergeant Liam Ortiz, whose steady voice had become synonymous with human resilience, commanded the boarding team. "Hold your positions. Once the breach is confirmed, we move in and secure the core," he instructed tersely over the comlink, his calm authority a beacon amid the chaos of battle. Within the heart of the Dominion vessel, alarm and confusion rippled through its corridors. The onboard AI, a complex alien construct unaccustomed to human unpredictability, struggled to maintain order. Dominion officers barked orders in rapid succession as the vessel's internal systems faltered. Each countermeasure deployed was met with a swift human response, a testament to years of adaptive strategy and fierce ingenuity. The vessel's once cohesive control structure began to fracture under the continuous barrage of electromagnetic pulses and precise plasma strikes. Simultaneously, Earth's clandestine energy network, synchronized with the fleet's offensive, generated a steady stream of destabilizing surges. The pulses were not random. They were the outcome of painstaking planning, nights spent poring over ancient schematics, and a collective refusal to capitulate. As the energy pulses intensified, a critical weakness in Oblivion's beacon became evident, a breach in its defensive architecture that signaled a turning point in the battle. At the climax of the assault, Captain Delgado transmitted a succinct command across the channel: "Phase 2, now." The order, simple yet imbued with the weight of destiny, triggered the next phase of the operation. A specialized team of infiltrators, armed with advanced digital tools and guided by real-time data, set their course for a stealth ingress into the command vessel's core. Their mission was twofold: seize control of the navigation system and implant a virus designed to disarm the Dominion's centralized command network. Every heartbeat of the boarding team echoed the collective courage of a species that had long been underestimated. In the silence of space, punctuated by the fierce glow of exploding fragments and the relentless hum of energy, the tide of war began to shift. The Dominion's command vessel, once a towering edifice of control and power, now teetered precariously on the brink of collapse. The human fleet, unified by a singular, unyielding purpose, pressed forward with each calculated maneuver and every pulse of disruptive energy. This pivotal moment, suspended between chaos and clarity, confirmed an immutable truth: humanity was no longer the hunted. The collective ingenuity, resilience, and indomitable spirit of Earth's people were turning the very fabric of the battle in their favor. Every explosion, every flicker of light against the void stood as a testament to a species that refused to be defined by defeat. In the cold, unforgiving expanse of space, humanity was carving out a future, one burst of defiant energy at a time. Inside the Dominion command vessel, the corridors twisted into a labyrinth of alien design and foreboding silence. The infiltration team, cloaked in the shadows of the vessel's dimly lit passages, moved with meticulous precision. Every step was a blend of defiant resolve and the acute awareness of danger lurking behind every automated sensor. Their mission was to penetrate the very heart of the enemy's control center, to wrest the vessel's digital reins away from its creators. Sergeant Liam Ortiz led his team through narrow hallways where the walls pulsed with embedded energy lines and ancient, indecipherable inscriptions. These corridors, built to intimidate and confound, now played host to humanity's steely determination. With each careful advance, the team evoked the spirit of a species that had weathered countless storms. Ortiz's voice, barely above a whisper over their secured comms, cut through the oppressive quiet. "Steady now, watch for movement." The reply was a chorus of silent nods and measured steps, each member a vital link in the chain of resistance. At the junction of two intersecting corridors, the team paused. Lieutenant Mara Chen, the vessel's digital lockpicker, knelt before a control console embedded in the wall. The holographic display before her danced with streams of alien code. Complex, shifting algorithms meant to deter any would-be saboteurs. Her eyes flickered with focus as her fingers deftly navigated the interface. "Initiating override," she murmured softly. The command triggered a cascade of code, unraveling layer after layer of Dominion encryption. The digital defenses fought back, flooding the console with erratic bursts of data. Yet Mara's determination was unyielding. With each keystroke, she pushed further into the heart of the system, knowing that every second was a stolen moment from the enemy's grasp. As the override continued, a soft but urgent alarm echoed down the corridor. Automated sentries, sleek, hovering constructs designed to detect intrusions, activated in response to the breach. Their sensors scanned the darkness, their mechanical precision a stark contrast to the raw, unpredictable human force. Ortiz quickly signaled his team into formation. "Engage silent protocols," he instructed in a tone that brooked no hesitation. The infiltrators moved as one, neutralizing the drones with swift, calculated actions. Suppressed energy pulses fired in near silence, each deactivation a discreet yet defiant rejection of Dominion control. Within the control nexus, a vast chamber brimming with alien technology and cascading holographic displays, the heart of the vessel beckoned. The chamber's lighting flickered erratically, a consequence of Mara's viral assault on the ship's central network. Here, the Dominion's internal security was at its most concentrated, but it was also at its most vulnerable. The virus, a digital storm of human ingenuity, was now coursing through the system, fracturing the enemy's command structure from within. Panels flashed with chaotic symbols, and the steady hum of the ship's systems gave way to erratic bursts of energy as critical conduits failed. In the midst of this technological maelstrom, Ortiz's team pressed on. "The core is open. Move in," he commanded, his voice measured yet carrying the urgency of a heartbeat. The infiltrators surged forward, navigating past flickering displays and collapsing energy conduits. Every step deeper into the Nexus was a journey into the very soul of the Dominion's arrogance, a heart that now pounded in disarray. The virus Mara had unleashed was its undoing. Lines of corrupted code spread like wildfire, overriding centuries-old protocols with the cold logic of human resilience. Amid the chaos, a brief moment of clarity emerged. The central interface, once a bastion of Dominion power, now lay exposed, a window into the very mechanics of their control. Mara's eyes shone with a mix of triumph and focus as she interfaced directly with the terminal. Her voice was barely audible as she uttered, "We're in. Control is ours." At that instant, the Dominion vessel trembled under the strain of its collapsing defenses. The alien structure, once an imperious symbol of domination, now shuddered like a wounded beast. Outside the vessel, the counteroffensive raged on. Earth's fleet, synchronized with the internal sabotage, pummeled the remaining shields and further destabilized the ship. Every energy pulse from the clandestine ground network resonated within the vessel's core, amplifying the internal chaos. Explosions echoed through the corridors as secondary systems faltered, and the once cohesive structure began to crumble under the relentless pressure. In the heart of the control nexus, as alarms blared and systems failed in rapid succession, Ortiz and his team gathered crucial data from the exposed interface, a digital manifesto that would cripple the Dominion's command network permanently. The gathered information was not just data. It was the culmination of years of planning, the physical manifestation of humanity's unyielding will to fight back against oppression. Every fleeting moment in that perilous chamber echoed with the promise of liberation, and every fallen drone and disrupted circuit was a testament to human ingenuity. In that charged atmosphere, as the ship's structure convulsed with the dying throes of its control systems, the infiltration team prepared for extraction. They had ventured into the abyss of Dominion power and emerged as harbingers of a new era, a future where human defiance would rewrite the rules of war. The digital storm raged around them, and in that swirling chaos, humanity's resolve shone brighter than ever. In the wake of the digital incursion, chaos unfurled like a wildfire throughout the Dominion's command structure. Inside the compromised vessel, corridors once ruled by meticulous alien logic now throbbed with disordered data and frantic alarms. The virus Mara had unleashed continued its relentless surge, corroding firewalls and fracturing control protocols with every corrupted packet. Holographic displays, once the pride of the Dominion's precision, now danced with erratic streams of garbled code, heralding the collapse of a once unassailable empire. Within these troubled halls, the infiltrators, fresh from their hard-won extraction of crucial data, moved with urgent precision. Sergeant Ortiz and his team retraced their steps through corridors where the hum of failing energy conduits and the disintegrating echo of automated commands filled the air. Their every footfall was a blend of triumph and trepidation, knowing that their mission had ignited a domino effect that now reverberated far beyond this single vessel. The stolen data was more than a tactical asset. It was the spark that would ignite a broader reckoning across the Dominion's vast network. As the virus spread its digital contagion, a ripple of disarray surged outward into the Dominion fleet. Warships that had once executed maneuvers with ruthless synchronicity now faltered, their communications garbled and command hierarchies dissolving into static. In the control centers of distant flagship carriers, alien officers exchanged frantic signals, their once cold confidence replaced by a palpable sense of panic. The order and discipline that had underpinned the Dominion's campaign were giving way to uncertainty and disintegration. What was meant to be an impenetrable web of authority was unraveling from within, exposing fissures in an empire that prided itself on perfection. On Earth and in hidden bastions of resistance, the news arrived in bursts of coded transmissions. General Reyes, monitoring multiple channels, watched as the Dominion's internal collapse was mirrored by failing defensive formations. In war rooms deep beneath battered cityscapes and retrofitted underground bunkers, commanders and strategists parsed the incoming data with mounting hope. They saw not just a glitch in enemy systems, but the opening for a decisive counterstroke, a moment when the enemy's arrogance met the indomitable will of humanity. Across the orbital expanse, Captain Sarah Delgado's fleet pressed forward. The once impregnable Dominion vessel, now reduced to a chaotic jumble of faltering systems, shuddered under the combined onslaught of internal sabotage and external energy pulses. Delgado's ship led the vanguard, its instruments calibrated to detect every nuance of the enemy's faltering defenses. Coordinates confirmed, came a terse update over the comm, followed by a brief pause, a moment of silent communication where every pilot and soldier recognized the gravity of what was unfolding. As the human fleet advanced, the synchronization of Earth's clandestine energy network played its final defining role. Coordinated pulses, meticulously timed and amplified, converged upon the crumbling command vessel. Each surge amplified the Dominion's internal chaos, further distorting sensors and crippling reactive systems. Energy shields that had once blazed with an unyielding glow now sputtered and waned, exposing vulnerable nodes that had been the backbone of Dominion operations. In the vast theater of space, a digital storm raged, a testament to the power of human resilience and ingenuity. Within the crumbling vessel, the chaos reached a fever pitch. Dominion drones, now unmoored by corrupted commands, careened unpredictably through dim corridors. Their once lethal targeting systems flickered erratically, leaving them as mere shadows of their former selves. In one control bay, a lone Dominion officer, his voice trembling with both fear and disbelief, attempted to rally his disintegrating forces, only to be drowned out by the relentless digital cascade. His desperate orders faded into the din of failing machinery, a haunting epitaph to the Dominion's once unassailable might. Meanwhile, far from the immediate ruins of the vessel, resistance units on Earth and in space mobilized with newfound urgency. Ground forces, alerted by the cascade of victory broadcast across secured networks, prepared to seize key installations. Armored convoys, infantry squads, and air support converged in coordinated strikes on strategic Dominion outposts. Every transmission, every flash of light on battered screens, reinforced the singular truth that the Empire's invincibility was crumbling under the weight of its own arrogance. In that electrified moment, as the shattered remnants of Dominion command flickered against the void, humanity's resolve surged with unbridled force. The virus had not only breached a vessel, it had fractured an empire. The synchronized energy pulses, the valor of infiltrators, and the undying spirit of every human fighter had coalesced into a reckoning. With each disintegrated line of corrupted code, every faltering command, and every shattered barrier, humanity was scripting a narrative of resurgence, a declaration that no force, no matter how vast or ancient, could extinguish the flame of defiance. The reckoning had begun, and as the Dominion's once formidable network dissolved into chaos, a new chapter of hope and freedom was being written across the stars. In the aftermath of the shattered Dominion command, a fragile calm descended over the battlefield of stars. The once mighty vessel, Oblivion's beacon, had succumbed to a maelstrom of cascading failures, its once imperious hull splintering into drifting fragments that glowed like embers against the void. With its fall, the intricate web of Dominion control began to unravel, piece by piece, as scattered fleets and command centers faltered in a state of disarray. Aboard the flagship of the human fleet, Captain Sarah Delgado's eyes remained fixed on the unfolding spectacle. The synchronized energy pulses from Earth's clandestine network continued to ripple through enemy formations, triggering chain reactions that disabled critical systems and left Dominion ships drifting like broken puppets. Delgado's voice resonated through the comlink, resolute and clear. All units, hold your formation. Today, we claim our future. Below, in the dimly lit command room of the liberated outpost on Earth, General Martin Reyes surveyed the incoming data streams. His weathered face, etched with scars of countless battles, softened as he absorbed the evidence of the enemy's collapse. "Our enemy's nodes are shutting down," he announced to his assembled staff. "Every fallen system, every shattered command link, they're a testament to our defiance." The room hummed with a mixture of relief and cautious optimism, as screens illuminated scenes of retreating enemy vessels and failing installations across multiple star systems. In a distant sector of the galaxy, the ripple effects of the Dominion's internal collapse were unmistakable. The stolen data and the virus Mara had unleashed had spread like wildfire through the alien networks. Formerly cohesive fleets, once symbols of absolute control, now sputtered under the weight of corrupted orders. Dominion officers, caught in the grip of panic and confusion, scrambled to reassert authority that was no longer theirs to command. In the midst of this turmoil, humanity's message of liberation echoed across countless channels, sparking uprisings in occupied worlds and inspiring countless souls to rise against tyranny. On Earth, the clandestine energy network that had served as humanity's secret weapon pulsed with renewed vigor. In once forgotten underground hubs and repurposed industrial complexes, engineers and scientists recalibrated the system to stabilize essential services and ensure that the power of innovation remained a beacon for the rebuilding process. Dr. Helena Moritz, her eyes alight with both exhaustion and hope, reviewed the live feeds. "We turned their strength into our advantage," she murmured, almost to herself. "Now it's our time to shine." In a fleeting but profound moment of victory, General Reyes and Captain Delgado convened via secure channel. Their brief exchange was laden with the weight of sacrifice and the promise of renewal. "Today we have shown that humanity is unbreakable," Reyes stated, his tone a blend of humility and fierce determination. Delgado replied, "This victory isn't the end, it's the beginning of a new era. We've rewritten the rules of war, and now we rebuild." Their words, simple yet profound, resonated deeply with every soul still standing in defiance of oppression. As the Dominion's remaining ships powered down their engines and began a hasty retreat into the folds of hyperspace, the liberated fleet gathered into formation. Amid the scattered debris of fallen enemy craft, the sight of Earth from orbit was awe-inspiring. A battered planet bearing the scars of conflict, yet radiating an indomitable glow of resilience and hope. In the distance, the sunrise painted the horizon in hues of gold and crimson, a silent promise of a new beginning. Across the galaxy, reports began to filter in. Occupied worlds were declaring autonomy, Long subdued populations were awakening, and the embers of rebellion were fanning into a flame that threatened to engulf remnants of the Dominion. Humanity's victory, hard-fought and bittersweet, reverberated as a call to arms for all who yearned for freedom. In that luminous moment, as the first rays of a new dawn broke across both space and time, humanity's legacy was etched in the stars. The war had transformed into a turning point, a definitive reminder that no force, no matter how vast or technologically superior, could ever snuff out the fire of human defiance. The Dominion had underestimated a species that thrived on innovation, courage, and the unyielding will to survive, and so, as Earth began its long, arduous journey toward reconstruction, every pulse of energy, every reclaimed system, and every whispered promise of a better tomorrow bore the undeniable truth: humanity refused to surrender. In that defiant choice, they changed the course of the war, and in doing so charted a course for a future where the dawn of liberation shone brighter than any tyranny of the past.